What's up, raw babes? And today I'm giving you very much raw, and we are back with another tutorial. It's been a while, you guys. I've been missing you, but we are finally out with a new video. So you guys, if you got your pencil and paper, if you want to learn, LaShay is here. Come on, let's start. Once you begin with your client, you must wipe down your client's face to avoid any breakouts. If you use witch hazel or Noxzema pads like I use for my clients, it helps a lot to keep a clean base for your client. Now I'm finna go in and start prepping my brows. You know, I use dual lash glue to lay down my brow hairs, and it's amazing. A lot of you guys experienced it or even tried it and you love the reviews of it. So if you guys are new to the Raw Babes family, welcome, but you have to try this trick. It's very good. It makes your eyebrows stay on for a long time. It's similar to like a tint for your brows, and you will see the difference in your brows once you use this technique. So the brow pencil I'll be using, you guys already know I use the Revlon Color Stay in the shade dark brown, and I'll just be filling in her brows very light, doing little strokes of hairs just to keep it enhanced as a brow, but not too dark and not too boxy in the front. After you fill in those brows, now it's time to conceal. When you are using concealer, make sure the shade is at least one shade lighter or two shades lighter than your original skin tone. So I'm going in with my favorite concealer for brows and for the lids, and it's very full coverage and matte. And this is the CoverGirl in the shade Cappuccino. So you guys, when it comes to matte concealers, you have to make sure that you hurry up and you go in with it. You want to avoid that concealer drying up too fast, because it can dry up fast. So if you are noticing that it is about to dry up and it's not looking as wet as concealer first looks, you want to hurry up and just blend it so you can avoid having a creasy eye. Make sure you bring down that concealer all the way to the lid and blend it out. That will be your base for your shadows. So let's talk about concealers. So if you're the type that likes more of a matte, more of a full coverage concealer, that concealer will probably go for CoverGirl Infallible Wear Concealer or Tarte Shape Concealer. If Tarte Shape is a little too expensive for your kind, you guys can also go use e.l.f. Concealer. e.l.f. Concealer and Tarte Shape Concealer go head to head. Those are my most concealers I use for eyebrows, for the face. That concealer is bomb. So I'm just putting out on with the concealers, but I want you guys to try out those concealers. And also, we cannot forget about the LA Girl Pro. If you have an LA Girl Pro in your kit or in your home, girl, you got the right product. I love LA Girl Pro. I use it for my eyebrows. I use it for my under eye to cover up my scars or anything. I love LA Girl Pro. Before you move on to the next step, you have to make sure you stand back and look at the eyebrows and see if it's even. You guys know if one is bigger than the other one, you make that bigger one smaller. If you see that it's not straight enough, go back with concealer and your flat brush and fix it up, make it straight as possible. So before you move on to the next step, you have to make sure your eyebrows are sisters. They don't have to be twins, honey, but you want to make sure everything is equal and everything is crisp and neat. Before you get ready for your eyeshadow, you want to make sure you set your concealer with some Airspun translucent powder. Airspun translucent powder will set your lids in place and also avoid creasing when it comes to your shadows. Now I will go in with one of my favorite all-time favorite Juvia's Place palettes. This is the Warrior palette, and I'm going in with that two-tone brown. I went in with the light brown. I also went in with the darkest brown on that palette, and I will just be blending that in her crease. More of a natural eye. When you are blending out your transition shade in your crease, you want to stay directly in your crease. You want to avoid going too close to the upper eyebrow bone, and you want to also avoid touching that center of her lid. So right there where you see me going back in with my dried up concealer that I use for her eyebrows, I will be patting that concealer onto the center of her lids. And that will be a base for me to go in with a neutral color, a neutral nude color for her lids. And that's also in the Warrior palette as well. And I will be patting that nude neutral onto her lid. All went crazy about the liner tutorial I showed you guys on my Instagram. If you guys are interested with that little short tutorial, go follow my Instagram at LashaysGlamz. So I just basically outlined and got prepared for her liner, and I just traced and formed her liner, and then I filled in. And I also made sure that I can improve the liner by fixing up the edge to make it sharp as possible. To help you out with doing the liner, you want to just draw a line close to her lash line, and then you want to also form a sideways triangle towards the end, and then make that triangle the sharpest way you can, and just fill it in, and that's how you can enhance your liners. If your liner is messy or you feel like it's not perfect enough, this is what you can do right here. Go in with some concealer, get your flat brush, and fix it up. Boom. And then you can get a perfect liner, you guys. And this is my lovely Yaya mix. Go follow her. All the mix I use on my page is from her. They full. If you don't want as full with the lashes, you guys can always get other lashes from her. She sells bomb lashes. Go check her out on my Instagram as well. If you guys need her tag, I will make sure I put that in the description box below. Jakia Minx. She's raw. She's in Miami with me. And you guys see my girl sucking my period. Yeah, those are the Minx, and she's raw in Miami. So make sure you get that, and we'll begin prepared for her Minx. So we put some dual lash glue on her lash line just to get prepared. And bam, y'all, when I met this primer and I used it for myself, and everybody else was talking about the milk primer, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna see how much it grip. This is one of the best primers I ever met. Like, I love this. It's so cold and it sticks. Like, I love this primer. Go try it out. It's amazing, and it brings a whole different look to my clients as well. This is one of my new favorite foundations, and I will explain to you guys why. It brings a skin-like finish to the foundation, and it's also full coverage, and it goes onto my client's skin like butter. I love it so much. So I would just be blending that into her skin all over her face, and this is her exact skin tone. If you guys need help with matching the skin tones, you can also look at your client's neck or chest. So let me give you guys the update on what I've been going through with the foundations. So recently, I just realized that the stores do not have Maybelline 24-hour super stay wear. If you guys know me, you know that's one of my favorite foundations, and you know I go through at least 10 to 15 girls a day, so I run out of foundation here and there. So knowing that that's my favorite foundation and they don't have it in stores, they came out with a foundation that's 30-hour. That foundation is so dry and cakey. I hate that foundation, and I really do need to talk to Maybelline because I miss my 24-hour wear. But since I haven't been doing the 24-hour wear, I met NARS, and NARS is one of my best friends now. So if you guys want a good finish with the skin and it's full coverage, go get that NARS Long Wear foundation. It's bomb. These are the lashes that we're using today from Jakia Minx. And now I'll be going in with one of my favorite concealers. This is the Tarte Shape Concealer. And we'll be going in with a shade that's dark, that's in the shade of deep, and also mid-tan golden. And I like to go in with a shade that's similar to her skin tone, and also a lighter shade. You can mix the two and come out with a perfect concealer shade. And I will just be blending that in. When you guys are blending with your beauty blender, make sure that your beauty blender is damped. You will not get the smooth finish you want if your beauty blender is not damp. After blending out that concealer, now you get ready to cream contour. I'm going in with the shade Ebony from Black Opal. That's one of my favorite cream contours. And now I would just blend that out. Make sure your contour shade should be 1 or 2 shades darker than the original skin tone of your client. So I am just blending her nose And it's really trust the process at this point. You have to make sure you blend everything together, make it look smooth. So at this point, don't worry. It can be a little frustrating with trying to trust the process, but you got it. So if you feel like your face looking crazy, look, honey, it's gonna look bomb at the end. So all these steps are for a reason, you guys. All these steps are for a reason. And right after I blend out that contour, I'll make sure I go in with another concealer. You guys already know how this go. I like to add more of a full coverage and also line everything up. And I'm also show you guys how I did my little nose job on her. But yes, I went in with another NARS concealer. You guys will see the tone pop up very soon. But I want you guys to just look at how everything is melting into her skin. So the NARS concealer is very optional, you guys. You do not have to use another layer of concealer. It's all up to you. But I add on this concealer by NARS in the shade Mid Dark number 3. And this will just outline her nose contour and also bring another pop under her eye. So I got your girl Sasha Buttercup Shea Banana in the building. She is back. And I will be setting wherever I put that concealer at. And I also will be setting the remaining of her face with the Sasha Buttercup. You guys have been asking, why haven't you been using the Sasha Buttercup for underneath the eye to set? You know, I'm bringing it back. This glam made me miss it. But yes, I'm bringing it back. It's no reason, you guys. It's just when I meet another type of setting powder and I like it, sometimes I hold on to it and forget about the rest of the powders I used to love. But Sasha is back. And, you know, I've been sleeping on Sasha, but she is back. And she will bring a smooth finish to your glam as well. You guys, make sure that your beauty blender is damp when you are trying to bake underneath the eye so it can be smooth. And also tell your clients to keep looking up just to avoid any creasing underneath the eye. Ladies, if you look at my other tutorials, you see me use the bronzers from Morphe. So I found this palette where they have their bronzers and they have their blush. And whoever was there just put me on because I love this palette. And it's very easy and it's less expensive because you have every skin tone, every tone that you want for your melanin skin, you have that in that palette. So right now I'll be setting her cream contour with a powder contour, or if you guys can say a bronzer that is the exact skin tone or shade of that contour that we use. And this will just warm up the face and bring definition. Wow, babes, we love a bronze look. We love a rosy cheek. I love blush so much. I will be popping that blush on top of that contour, and you know, it brings a whole look to the definition of their features and their face. I love a rosy cheek. I love it, and you guys seem to love it too. So if you want to try that out, blush brings a whole big difference to the glam. So y'all try that out. And right after that, I will make sure I go in with my brush and put some more of that Sacha Buttercup by Banana. And I will be setting underneath that cheekbone just to fix out the structure and also set the remaining of their face. Now I will go in with the same palette that I used for her lids, which is the Warrior palette from Juvia's Place. And I will be grabbing that jet black and blending it and buffing it underneath her eye by her waterline. And also right underneath that black, I will make sure I blend out the edges with a little bit of that dark brown. I will be adding a little pop to the corner of my client's eye. I will be going in with that J. LaRue pressed pigment, and that is in the shade White Gold. The liner we'll be using today is from KKW in the shade 3, and I will be lining up her lips in the center. I'll go in with my NYX Nude Matte Lipstick, and this will be topped off with some clear gloss from the hair store. Make sure before you blend underneath the eye that you swipe away that fallout from that bottom shadow that we used earlier. If you forget that step and you begin to blend underneath the eye, you will be blending in that black underneath that eye, and it won't be a pretty scene. So just make sure that's one of the requirements when you are doing your clients. If you want a smooth, clean, fresh under eye, you have to make sure you remember to dust away that fallout. Now I will be setting underneath her eye with some pressed powder from MAC. Like I said, you guys, this is very optional, but it brings on a filtered look to my client's face. It makes the under eye more smooth, and it also adds an extra coverage to make their foundation and their whole entire full face stay on longer. So if you guys want to use the Studio MAC pressed powders, you can use those. If it's too expensive for you guys because it's so many shades, you guys can also go grab that Black Radiance Setting Pressed Powder. It's also similar to the MAC. It's just less expensive. But you guys can try that out. I was going in with the NW45. You have to make sure underneath the eye, I go in with the shade of her concealer. And then for the remaining of her face, I set her skin with a pressed powder that's her exact skin tone. So sorry, the shade for the remaining of her face was the NW55 from MAC, and the shade I used underneath her eye as her concealer shade was the NW45. After I set her face with the e.l.f. spray, now I'll begin to highlight her face, and she looks gorgeous. This highlighter is from Milani in the shade 04. This is one of my favorite highlighters. And I know the highlighter is booming right now, but throughout the video and the process of everything, if you see if something is too blinding, if you see if it's too harsh, make sure you always go back and blend it out. Certain things, me as a makeup artist, I also look at, and I'm like, hey, that's a little too harsh. I want a little too much in. But before your client leaves, you want to make sure you fix everything up to your liking. But y'all, that's the finishing look. Off camera, I put on some mascara for her lashes for the bottom and the top. Y'all, this look is so raw, and this is so amazing that the before and after is so beautiful. This whole process of skin, this is a whole trust the process type of video. But I love you guys so much. I miss you guys. And it's been a while. I've been traveling. The ATL did me very good. I love you, ATL. We showed out with the classes. And now I will be in New York in 2 weeks. So I've been doing a lot and with clients in my home. It's a lot going on, but I miss y'all. I'll make sure I come back to you guys. Hope I taught you guys a lot. This was a banger. I love you guys so much. Make sure you click that subscribe, like, and comment. Tell your friends to tell a friend that LaShay is over here. She's the plug. She will help you out with your makeup. I have you guys. I'm right next to you guys throughout the whole entire way. And make sure you click that notification bell so you'll be the first to be notified whenever I post. And also make sure you show love to my Instagram, LashaysGlamz. This was a wonderful look. I love you guys. I will be back in action with the tutorials. This was an amazing class. So y'all make sure that y'all hit me up and let me know what y'all want to see next. Mwah.